you. Wow. I love happy endings, don't you? Except I suspect that this is just the beginning for Osvaldo, and you can see why we just keep bringing him back. So interestingly, though, we have learned that adding more remedial support classes in math, language arts, and other core curriculum areas do not result in significant improvement in student achievement. SOAR, on the other hand, is a program that provides support and interventions during the school day, helping students learn social and emotional awareness response strategies and study skills to support their learning. So I want to introduce you at this time to a very special 14-year-old girl. And can you imagine the courage it takes to come up and speak in front of all of you? So Michelle Dunayvitser is a Highland Middle School 8th grader. Come on up.
Hello, and thank you. When I started kindergarten, I only spoke Russian. I couldn't understand anything in school, and it made me so upset that I would cry in frustration. By first grade, I was fluent in English. In fact, I was so fluent that I was chosen to come speak to the Spring for Schools audience. That's me, at the Maidenbauer Center. Thank you. In 2009, when I was a first grader, that was my party dress. When some of the people from Bellevue Schools Foundation came to see how the programs are working out, they thought my story was very inspiring. And they asked if I want to come speak to the Spring for Schools audience. And guess what? They had no idea that I was that little girl who had been up on stage 7 years ago. I do look very different. But here's why I think my coming here 7 years later is so important. The reason I was doing so well by the time I was in first grade was because Bellevue Schools Foundation donors funded aides in the classroom so we could get extra help. It made a huge difference, and it gave me a great start. But life can be complicated. Sometimes students lose their way. I was one of those students. Looking back at 7th grade, I wasn't motivated at all. I wasn't engaged in schoolwork. I didn't want to be at school. My GPA was around a 2.0. My family would talk about how I was a disobedient child and how it looked like I was going to be one of those teenage kids. Then I got put into SOAR. I was mad when I got put into SOAR because I was supposed to have ceramics, and I was really looking forward to it. But once I was in SOAR, that really changed. Ceramics can wait. The class really grew on me. It is so great. We've all worked together and grown really close to each other. Miss Samedi is such a good teacher. She's so supportive. She doesn't push us to do things, but she helps us become motivated. We get a lot of time to catch up on our missing work. Every week, we would write out goals like, my grade in this class is this, and by this time, I want it to be that. Miss Samedi would go over our goals with each of us individually, asking us questions like, what can I do to help you achieve this goal? Or what can I do to support you? We would almost always achieve those goals. Compared to last year, I feel a lot more confident in myself knowing that I have support if I need it. For example, I was having some misunderstandings with one of my teachers, and I wrote him this really long email because I needed to think it through. And then he called me a self-advocate for that. That was a big compliment. With the help I got in SOAR, I learned that if I have this kind of problem again, I can always reach out to people. I know how to advocate for myself, and before I wouldn't have known. Now I understand I'll never be down there again. School is really important to me now. It always has been, but I would have never acknowledged that. Now I love all my teachers, and I enjoy school. I like to see hard work paying off, and if I just compare that to last year, I think, wow, without SOAR, I wouldn't be where I am now. Now I know that how well you do in school has to do with much more than whether you're smart or a quick learner. When I had people to guide me and hold my hand a little, including psych coaches Thomas Taylor and Peter Shin, who also help SOAR students, I just felt better overall. And on that note, I want to thank you, Thomas, for all the support you've given me in the past 2 years, all the one-on-one talks, all the leadership, and I just really want you to know that I'll miss you. I feel better outside of school knowing people believe in me. And it's not just me. I know everybody in SOAR. Their motivation has gone up, and I know that they feel that they have support. They might not have known they needed it, but now they understand that they did. So, you remember I told you that when I started SOAR, I had a 2.0 GPA? This year, I've never been below a 3.5, and I was even able to get up to a 4.0. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people are really impressed with how much I've grown from last year. My mom brags all the time about how well I'm doing in school. In fact, she is here today, along with my sister and brother-in-law. Mom, Tanya, and Mark, I'm so happy you're all here, and I'm glad I've made you proud. SOAR taught me to be the person I am today. Thank you. Thank you. And the person I will be 10 years from now. Getting what I needed from SOAR helped with what you call emotional intelligence. I understand myself more. I don't avoid problems because I know there are always people there to help me get through them. Now I think about the future all the time. I want to go to college and find what I'm good at. I love psychology. I feel I have a lot of experience with emotions, and I want to learn the science behind them. Maybe I'll be a counselor because I want to help kids whose place I was once in. To every single person in this room, I want to thank you for what you do for students like me. You changed my life when I was starting school. Then you were there for me again when I was struggling. And you changed my life again. Thank you for coming to Spring for Schools.